Hey guys, welcome to the Lit Loft. My name is Danny.
Hi, my name's Rich.
And we are pretty excited to get our hands on the awesome VC35, the copper, by Victory Amplification. So it's pretty hard not to be biased with this amp because we have been long-time users of amps designed by Martin Kidd. So you had the Cornford Roadhouse 50.
That's right.
And I had the Cornford MK50 Mark II, which was just, anyway, sold it, biggest regret of my life. Let's move on because I'm still hurt.
Move on from the X's.
Yeah. So, as you've probably seen, if you've, watching this, you've probably seen the video from Victory, and it doesn't get much better than Martin, Rabia, Mick, people who have had input from the ground up designing the amp, talking you through exactly everything about it and how it's built. So what we wanted to do, we've got quite a few guitars, lucky to have a few guitars up here, so we've got a cool Tele, Strat, a Les Paul, something else a bit special and tasty which we'll show you later.
Yep.
And we just wanted to show you the tones, and what better way to start than the gain range.
Yes.
So at the moment we've got the gain set fairly low and the master up fairly high to achieve some clean sounds, but what I'll do is I'll bring the gain up and bring the master down whilst Rich is playing to show you a full range of the gain.
Cool.
So that was the gain up to kind of 12 o'clock. Now what I'll do is we'll go straight into rock territory.
Yes.
12 o'clock onwards, which is what you all want, I'm sure.
We're gagging for it. Rock.
So I'll move it to about 1 o'clock now. Take it away. So that was the gain on full right at the end there. So, it's really classic British sounding rock territory. Think of your classic EL84 amps, no point beating around the bush. Vox AC30 is kind of what it's loosely based on, with some kind of, Martin's own modern refinements.
Yes.
Which we'll come to soon, which are really useful, kind of a few dip switches. But it isn't a clone of an AC30 at all. But it's definitely got that chimey character to it.
Yeah, definitely there, isn't it? The kind of the essence of the AC30.
So what's really cool on this amp, and what we've noticed that's really useful when changing guitars, is these two dip switches that you've got on the left. So you've got a bass cut and a mid boost. So if we go back to kind of a cleanish sort of sound with the Tele, And what I'll do is I'll bring the bass, always get these mixed around the wrong way, bass cut in and out. So at the moment it's not cutting the bass.
Okay.
So you might be thinking there that with a sound like that and a Telecaster with quite a bright kind of twangy sound, why would you want the bass cut off? And we'll show you. Because when you add a lot of gain, you also end up inevitably boosting the bass.
Yeah.
And it can be a really useful switch to have. So if we go back to a really kind of rocking sound,
yeah,
and I'll show you what the bass cut can do. So just when it starts to get that kind of little bit flubby, when you're really pushing the gain of the amp, it's just a really cool feature to be able to cut a little bit of that, especially with the Les Paul.
Yeah, that made a massive difference, doesn't it? I mean, it's great when you're recording as well. That's what we found, is just cleans it up a bit, takes that kind of unnecessary frequency right down at the bottom, just gets out of the way.
Which is such an awesome feature. And now the next one is mid boost. So this is a bit more subtle, but it gives you a real kick, like it almost makes you feel like you've got a little bit more gain, but it's not. It's just that hitting that frequency right where you want it, and making the notes stand out. So if we stick with a pretty gainy sound, and I'll leave the bass bass cut, in. We won't touch it.
Okay, just the mid boost.
And I'll just play with the mid boost.
Okay. Just gives you a bit of moral support, doesn't it, really?
Yeah. Do you know what we need? We need two of these, two big caps.
Stereo,
and we
wet dry.
When I have a solo, flick the mid boost.
Yeah.
It's a really useful thing. Like if you're tracking a rhythm guitar and you want your guitar sounds roughly in the same ballpark, just having one without that mid boost and one with it, cutting a lead over it, it's such an awesome feature to have. We're not going to show you the kind of middle treble bass. They are, in my opinion, just something each user sets to taste. We've found that actually, as most amps these days, everything at 12 o'clock is pretty spot on for most of the guitars, and we've actually found that using the bass cut and the mid boost gives us more kind of flexibility from guitar rather than going through the EQ. What we do want to show you is three more things. The reverb, the tone, because you find them on an AC30, so it'd be kind of interesting to.
So it was back. They flipped it kind of back around, so it sort of makes a bit more sense.
So on an AC30, when you put it down, it actually got brighter.
Yeah, the tone brighter. Yeah.
So, but now up is more treble, brighter, down is darker, as you'd expect.
That kind of makes more sense to me.
Yeah, definitely. And the high and low power mode. But if we start with the reverb, so it is a digital reverb, but you know, can't fit a massive spring tank in the size of this head. So let's see what it sounds like. So I'll turn it off to start. It's nice.
It is, isn't it?
It does sound really authentic. It's just that nice kind of breathing space.
Yeah, it just adds, doesn't it? I mean, I am sitting right on top of it, so that's why you got a bit of a hum on the single coils and everything.
Yeah. So next, the tone. So it's at 12 o'clock at the moment. I'll move it from bottom to top.
That's a nice big sweep on that, isn't it? So,
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So even if you want to set your bass, middle and treble kind of flat, you then if you just don't want to set 3 knobs whilst you're playing, you can just, you know, adjust that one to taste, which is really cool. So the last thing I want to show you is the high and low power mode. So it doesn't really cut as much volume as you'd think, does it?
No, it's just a nice kind of underneath option. If you just want to drop it down, it does give you a little bit more gain, a little bit more drive, just because you're working the amp a little bit less or more even. I always get that mixed up. But yeah, a bit more headroom obviously with the high mode. So I mean, we like the high mode because the
high mode's got a certain punch to it, but having the low mode is really cool for you guys, you know, wanting to play like in an environment like this. You don't want to make too much noise. So let's flick between the high and low mode.
Cool.
So it's pretty cool. Again, quite subtle. You can get bedroom tones out of this by lowering the master in the low mode. So if you're after that, it's a really cool option.
Cool.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, just quick run through. This is not going anywhere. This is staying with us. So expect it in plenty more videos, plenty more different topics, guitars, whatever you want. Please let us know below what you thought of it, and we'll see you guys again soon.
Yep. Take care, guys.